President please be seated. The chamber is now back in session. The hearing in this session, the chamber begin to hear testimony of 2 TCW 1037. And before we invite the witness into the courtroom, the chamber issue an oral ruling on internal rules 87.3 and 4 related to the request made during the trial hearings. The chamber refers to the request filed confidentially by the Nguyen Chia defense pursuant to internal rule 87.4 and 93, document E445/1, put on 11 October 2016, seeking the admission of 8 documents and requesting investigative action with respect to 2 documents. Oral submissions in response were heard on 13 October 2016. Pursuant to internal rule 87.4, the trial chamber admits documents 1 to 7 and denies the admission of document 8. Given that the chamber denies the admission of document 8, the request in response made by the co-prosecutor to admit 3 documents is moot. With respect to document 1, the Nguyen Chia defense is instructed to identify those portions of the 215-page document which are most relevant to the anticipated testimony of 2 TCE 98 and which they intend to use. Having regard to the Rule 93 request, the chamber has asked WISU to contact the expert to provide a full version of the first requested document. The chamber denies the Rule 93 request with respect to the second requested document. Full written reasons for this decision will follow in due course. Now the chamber will hear the testimony of 2 TCW 1037. And the duty counsel is Mr. Nguyen Sowan. The chamber note that this witness is part of another separate case. Therefore, the chamber categorized the witness in category Core in its memorandum E319/35. Therefore, the chamber will designate a pseudonym for this witness in order to protect the confidentiality. Therefore, the chamber needs to balance between the integrity of the investigations and the public discussions in this trial. And the chamber also would like to remind parties to stick to the principle in this document E319/7. And court officers, please usher the witness together with his duty counsel Nguyen Sowan into the courtroom. President, good afternoon, Mr. Witness. In this trial chamber, based on the request by the judges of the international co-investigating judges, the chamber will use pseudonym to address you. Parties will address you by your status as a witness to TCW 1037, and the chamber prohibit all parties to address you by your name. Court officer, please bring document E3/17. Correction, E3/9580 to the witness. Mr. Witness, the chamber would like you to identify your identities in document E39580 in Khmer EON 00951901 and English 00978412. And I would like you to look at the highlighted parts about your names, your occupation, your date of birth, your parents' names, your wife's names, and the number of your children, whether these informations are correct. You simply give us the answer whether it's correct or not. That's it. And you have the document in your hand now, and you can have a look at those highlighted parts.
Yes, that is correct.
President, thank you. And based on the Greffier report this morning, that based on your knowledge, you have no relationships to the two, by law or by blood, to the two accused, that is Nunchi and Khieu Sampon, and to any of the civil party admitted in this case. Is this information correct? Answer, yes, that's correct. Please put the document aside because we don't use them now. Mr. Witness, have you already taken an oath before the Iron Club statue before you come into this courtroom? Answer, yes, I have. President, now we would like to inform you about your rights and obligations as a witness in this courtroom. Your rights. As a witness in the proceeding before the chamber, you may refuse to respond to any questions or to make any comment which may incriminate you. That is your right against self-incrimination. This means that you may refuse to provide your response or make any comment that could lead you to being prosecuted. Your obligations. As a witness in the proceedings before the chamber, you must respond to any questions by the bench or relevant parties, except where your response or comment to those questions may incriminate you, as the chamber has just informed you of your rights as a witness. You must tell the truth that you have known, heard, seen, remembered, experienced, or observed directly about an event or occurrence relevant to the questions that the bench or parties pose to you. Mr. Witness, have you ever provided interviews to the investigator from the OCIJ? And if you have, how many times and where? Answer. I provided the interviews with the investigator at my home. Question: how many times that you gave the interviews to the investigator? Answer: twice. President, thank you. Before you come into this courtroom, have you already reviewed the interviews that you provided to the investigators in order to jog your memory? Answer: I cannot recall everything because it happened a long time ago. I can recall only the important points, not all. President, thank you. Based on your recollection, can you tell us whether the interview statement that you have reviewed is consistent with your interview that you provided at your home to the investigator? Answer: the answers I provided during the investigation process based on my review, they are slightly different, especially about the exact dates and year. I cannot recall them well, so there are some small discrepancies. President, thank you. Pursuant to Rule 91 bis, the chamber gave the floor to the Nunchi defense team to put questions to this witness first. And the Nunchi defense team and the Kilsampon defense team, the combined time for you both are 2 sessions.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Witness. I'm the International Counsel for Nuancia, and I would like to ask you some questions this afternoon. Just one introductory question. You said you were interviewed twice by investigators. Is it correct that in 2013 you were interviewed by investigators of this court, and that in 2006 you were interviewed by representatives from an organization called DC CAM? Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. Let me start by asking you if you can tell the court when it was that you joined the revolution.
Based on my recollection, I joined the revolution in 1970. And I remained in the revolution until 1975, until 17 April 1975.
Can you tell us what you did before 17 April 75? Which positions did you held, where you were stationed, etc.?
To my recollection, in 1970 to 1975, initially I joined the army to liberate the nation. And 3 years later, I left the army and I received a new responsibility in charge of the logistics and economy of the zone.
And when was it exactly that you became or that you started working for the logistics and economics section of the Northwest zone?
I started working in that role from 1973 onward.
What were your functions while you were working at the logistics and economics department of the zone? What did you do?
My main responsibility was in charge of controlling the food and the ammunition. It was at the zone department of logistics and economic section.
Is it correct that at one point in time you also became the chairman of the logistics and economics unit of the Northwest zone?
I was not the chief. I was only in the role of distributing food and clothes and ammunition to people at the battlefield.
Maybe there's something not correct in the interpretation of your today or in your WRI. I'm not quite sure, but let me read to you what you said in your WRI E3/9580. Question and answer 2. You say, I joined the Khmer Rouge as a soldier in 1970. By 1973, I no longer went to battlefields since I was chairman of logistics and economics of the Northwest Military Zone. I was still in that position until 17 April 75. But I had moved to live in Psalu Market in Battambang provincial town. Is that correct, what you said to the investigator?
I said so during the investigation interviews with me, but I would like to clarify that I was not the chairman. I was simply a chief of a section that were responsible for sending the food, clothes and ammunition to the battlefield. For the logistic and economic department, it was a separate unit, a separate entity that belonged to the zone general staff.
Let me follow up on this. Is it correct that when you were working in logistics and economics and delivering ammunition and weapons to soldiers, that you were attached to a division which was later to be called Division 2?
Yes, that's correct.
Can you tell us who your direct commander was, or your direct chief, while you were at Division 2?
The commander of the division, Division 2, was Rain.
And, sorry, please go ahead.
And there was another person, Ta Hom, and also Ta Klein. They were in charge of, they were chiefs of the general staff of the zone division, division 2.
Do you know whether there was also a deputy secretary in Division 2 named Koi or Q?
I heard the name, but I was not sure whether he was based there or not.
Mr. President, with your leave, I would like to show that very same document again that I showed earlier this morning to the other witness. That is E3/1170, which is an organogram of the 2 Northwest Zone divisions.
President, your request is granted.
Mr. Witness, are you able to read what's written there?
Yes, I see it.
In the
Sorry, just for clarification, can I have the English ERN of the page that he's
oh,
looking at?
yes, I apologize. That's 00602544, Khmer 00443016, French 065448995. Mr. Witness, talking about Division 2, of which you were a member, you can see 3 names as the commanders: Kleng, Koi or Q, maybe, and Ren. Do you see those 3 names?
Yes, I see the 3 names.
And that second name, does that ring a bell to you? Is that the same person that we just discussed?
I recall Koi, but I do not know what position he held at that time. And for Klein and Rain, I recall their name clearly. And there was another person by the name Hom.
We will be discussing Ham shortly, but let's stay on this overview first. When you go down a bit, you see Regiment 70, and there we see the names Ren, Rut, and Say. Is that the Ren that you mentioned, and is that the same Ren as the Ren who was also a commander?
But Rain
Rain was in the division headquarters, and for Ruen, as far as I know, he was in the regiment.
Did you say Rune or Rut?
More Rut.
Rut. To my recollection, he was the regiment chief of Division 2.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. Let me now ask you to go to the other side of that same page. There you see the Division 1 commanders. We can see the name Non Sarim alias San, the Deputy Secretary, if I pronounce it well, New, and the member of the Division 1 Committee, Chon. Do you see these three names? And if yes, do these names sound familiar to you? Do you remember those names, those people?
Yes, I saw the names. But I am familiar only with one name, that is Chon. And another one is Saram. I know them, but I do not know what positions they held at that time.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. Now, are you able to tell us where in the Northwest Division 2, your division, was stationed or based, and where in the Northwest Zone Division 1 had its headquarters and was based?
To my knowledge, the 1st and 2nd Division headquarters at the time were, as for the soldiers of Division 1, were located along National Road number 5 in Pai Pai area. As soldiers for Division 2, they were based along the former National Road number 10. That is at the provincial city of Battambang, and that straight to Pailan. As for the division headquarters, it was located at the Traing village in Ratanamundol district.
Let me follow up on this, and let me lead you to your answers. Your answer in your WRI E3/9580 to the question 46. You said in that answer that the major base of Division 2 was in Trang Commune, Samlaut District, presently Rotanak Mondol District. Correct?
After 1975, I saw the commander of a division as well as commanders of battalions and regiments held their meetings there at that location.
Thank you. But now if you have a look again at that organogram that I showed you, it says that Ren's base was in Pai Lin and Rut's base was in Kreng, K-R-E-N-G. Were there also bases in Pai Lin and Kreng?
What I want to say is that I did not know the locations of regiments. However, soldiers of Division 2 were at Battambong, at a sugar factory, at Bailand, etc.
And Division 1 was, if I understand you correctly, among other places, at Tamarkul along National Road 5. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Now I have two additional geographical questions. Mr. Witness, have you ever heard of a place called Treng, Psa Treng?
Psa Treng. During the time before 1975 was a town where there was a market, that is Psa.
Do you know whether Division 1 or Division 2 ever held meetings at Psa Treng?
To my understanding, regiments were held at regimental or divisional levels at Battambong and Trang. However, the headquarters of the staff zones was located at Battambong.
And my second geographical question, or actually I have another one, but Sadao village, do you know that?
Yes, I do.
Do you know whether there were ever meetings held in Sadao village?
I did not know at the time. I only knew the major areas where soldiers were stationed.
Very well. And then my last geographical question, Mr. Witness, B Chap Mountain, do you know where that is?
Yes, I do. I know of V Chap Mountain. Currently, V Chap Mountain is located in Rotanak Mondol district. it is also at the time it also had a division area in Vaijap mountain, and it was also a military training base for that division.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. Now let me turn to the person that you just referred to, Da Hum. Who was he and what was his function before and after 1975?
Before 1975, Hom was in charge of the sector army. Later on, he was transferred to the zone army. As for his actual position, he was deputy of a Klein.
Did Ham have a function in relation to logistics, the logistics of the zone?
He also controls the logistics with his supervisor.
Then I am almost certain we speak about the same person, but just to be absolutely sure, Mr. Witness, Mr. President, with your leave, I would like to show that same photo from the ECCC website that I showed earlier to a previous witness from the Northwest Zone, the bodyguard of Ru Nim. It's, I believe, admitted now into evidence. It's the photo that is attached to the draft transcript of 21 September 2016. I'm not at liberty to say the name of that witness. It's 2 TCW 1036, and the photo was shown at 11:23 in the morning.
Yeah, I know. Probably has a number by now, but anyway.
We checked, but we couldn't find it. So, with your leave, Mr. President. And we can also, with your leave, put it on the screen.
And again, attach it to the transcript so we have it.
Yes, please.
Yes, you can proceed. And every unit, please show the photo on the screen per the Defense Counsel's request. And allow me to say that this photo is E3/10698.
Mr. Witness, can you have a look at the photo or at the screen if you prefer? Is this the hum that you spoke about?
No, he's not.
That's an answer I hadn't expected. Let me ask another question. Do you recognize the person on the photo?
No, I don't.
the Taham that you just spoke about and who you also mentioned frequently in your WRI, do you know if he's still alive?
To the best of my knowledge and based on the information that I received, in 1977, it was the end of the year, Hom was arrested by Pol Pot, but I did not know where he was taken to.
Does this mean you believe that Ham is not alive anymore?
Yes, I believe that he's not alive.
Let me see if I can try it differently. Do you know a person named Tot Tun?
Is it Tot Thut or Tot Thut?
That's a good question.
Perhaps your Khmer colleague can pronounce it.
The name is Tot Thut. Answer. At my side, there was a Tot Thut. However, he's dead. He used to have quite a senior position, and he passed away less than a year ago.
Yes, as a matter of fact, a few months ago. Was the Tot that you speak about, was he a general in the Cambodian in the present Cambodian army?
Yes, that is true.
And the person, just to make sure I understand, the person on the photo is not Tot Tut. Maybe I'm getting confused myself now, but
When the photo was originally placed to the witness, he was asked about whether it was the Ham that he knew. So,
right.
Right. You might get a different answer from whether it's Tot Tut.
I will rephrase. Thank you. The person that you just saw on the photo, it's not Tot Tut, the general, correct?
Are you referring to the photo before me?
Yes.
The person looks similar to me because Tot Thut that I knew, he had a darker complexion, but the facial shape looks similar.
Just for the clarity of the record, the photograph is of an individual by the name mentioned by counsel that was identified when he appeared before the Supreme Court chamber. And so I think we have on record that it is, because the photo is also of when he appeared before the Supreme Court chamber. So I think we have on record that it is the person by that name.
True, but there is also his testimony saying that he was Ham, person that worked for the military staff and who was the chief of the logistics. So we might have a situation that the person on the photo was saying he was Ham, but he wasn't in fact. So that's the problem. But I don't have that much time. Let's move on. It's unclear, and I might revisit this subject after the break, Mr. Witness. It's very intriguing what you're saying. Let me move on to another person that you just spoke about, Tak Kleng. He was the chief of the military staff of the Northwest Zone, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
In your testimony, for instance, in your DC camp statement, you speak about another person called Tavan. Who was Tavan?
The name Tavan does not sound familiar.
Maybe it's my pronunciation, which is not very good still after all those years. Mr. Witness, you said in E3/10666 in your DC camp statement at English ERN 013-30497. I don't believe there is a French ERN, but there is a Khmer ERN which is 01326-301. You said early 1977 they arrested Tavan, who was chief of commerce. They accused him of arming a soldier to attack Ankara. So maybe my pronunciation wasn't correct, but that's the Tavan I'm speaking about.
Yes, I recognize this person. He is not Tavan, but his name is Tavan.
There you have it. And is he the same person that you refer to also in your DC camp statement on English ERN 013305517 and Khmer 01326314, where you say Tavang supervised both the army and the Sector 2.
To my knowledge, before the liberation year of 1975, he was as part of a sector committee, that is Sector 2 committee. He was not in charge of the military.
Very well. Then let me move on to two other important people from the Northwest Zone. First, Runim, the chief of the zone. You speak about him, Tanim, being the zone secretary. Did you know Tanim personally? Did you ever meet him in person?
Yes, I saw him in person, and I used to attend political study session at the political school with him for one or two occasions.
One sideboard question, I suppose. Mr. Witness, have you ever seen a photograph of Runim after 1975 anywhere?
No, I haven't since I parted way from him. We heard that he was murdered by Pol Pot, and there was no photo of him remained.
Thank you. And then my final question in relation to the Northwest Zone structure. That's another person that you speak about a few times, and I hope I pronounce it correctly. Tahing Tiv, alias Tapet. Do you know who he was, and did you ever meet him personally?
The name is not Heng Tiep, but Heng Tiew, alias Pet. I knew him. And I knew him since the war period, that is before 1975.
Thank you. Mr. Witness, let me return to Taham, whom you called in question and answer 28 of E3/9580, the deputy of the Zone Military General Staff, the deputy to Ta Kleng. You just mentioned Taham was arrested in 1977. Do you know why he was arrested?
From what I knew, the cadres who were in the leadership in the zone military were accused of having connection with the CIA. And as for him, he was accused of colluding in transporting firearms and ammunition to hide them for the purpose of attacking. And this information I obtained from some of the people I knew in the army.
Thank you. Mr. Witness, let me read to you what you told the investigator in relation to Taham's arrest. In question and answer 29, you said the following. Taham was also arrested. They were arrested together. I obtained information that both divisions of the Northwest Zone had planned to fight back against Pol Pot. But this plan had been leaked through some agents of the center. That was why the military people were arrested. Taham was accused of having transported military equipment to Phnom Ve Chap mountain. I learned about this after 1979 from a driver who had transported the equipment in question. Another soldier told me of a hearing their leaders say in a meeting. Another soldier told me of hearing their leaders say in a meeting that if nothing was done about the Northwest Group, the zone would revolt, like the East Zone. End of quote. Is this what you told the investigators of the International Co-Investigating Judge? Is that what you told them? Is the excerpt correct?
Object to the form of the question. It's compound. You can ask him if that's what he told them, and then you can ask him if it's correct. But as asked, it might be a confusing answer for the record.
No problem in rephrasing. Mr. Witness, is this what you've told the investigators?
Yes, that's what I told the investigator.
Let me now go to the details of this particular answer. Let me first ask you a question about the driver that you speak about, the driver who told you after 1979 that he had transported the equipment from Taham, the military equipment, to Pelum Ve Chap. Who was this driver?
To my knowledge, the driver was the person who lived with him and who was also a driver. And he was his close confidant. But at present, I do not know his whereabouts. I haven't seen him.
Do you know his name?
Yes, I know the driver's name.
And would you be willing to tell us his name?
ខ្ញុំអាចប្រាប់បាន
Yes, I can tell his name. His name is San. But as I told you earlier, he has disappeared. He has disappeared since 1979, 1980. I met him once in Snang village in Banan district.
In that answer that you have given to the investigators, you said that the plan of both divisions of the Northwest Zone to fight back against Pol Pot had been, quote unquote, leaked through some agents of the center. Can you expand on this? Do you know how this plan had been leaked, and who are the agents of the center that you refer to, if you know?
I related to this point. I learned about it through the cadre who came to supervise the Northwest Zone. They were in the military, and they told us that they received the information from the messenger, and it was from the Tanyam messenger. The messenger reported to the center, and as a result, the plan became cannot be materializable, and they were purged.
And who was this messenger of Tanim?
ស្គាល់នាសារទញឹមណា
Tanyam's messenger. I did not know them. I saw 4 or 5 men who usually went out with him.
Let me follow up on this. You said you obtained information that both divisions had planned to fight back against Pol Pot. What were the plans of the divisions? What were the divisions supposed to do? Do you know any? Do you have any concrete details as to what these 2 divisions were supposed to be doing against Pol Pot?
Related to this point, I only learned about them later on. They told me that the division had a plan for counterattacks, but their plans were not materialized yet. They had not had a clear structures or network to materialize the plan yet. And when their plan were found out, they were purged continuously. I received the information that forces from the 2 divisions were preparing for counterattacks on Pol Pot. It was just the information that I received from the military, from the zone military.
And what do you mean when you say the zone military? Who gave you this information?
កម្លាំងទ័ព
The military force within the division told me about that plan, and they explained to me that was the reasons behind the purge of the leadership of the division.
Do you have a name of the person who told you?
មិនអាចចាំបាន
I cannot recall the names. Because there were many people who talked about that. I cannot identify any one of them, and I don't know where they live now. They were at my age at that time, and now I am 66, so I think it's a slim chance that they survive.
I understand, but let me ask it more general. The persons who gave you the information about the plan to fight back against Pol Pot, were they themselves members of Division 1 and 2?
President, please hold on.
មិនមែន
Witness. They were not the force of Division 1 and 2. They were the coalition force that was sent from the southwest zone, and those people told me about the plan.
Okay, then in that same answer you said you talked about San, the driver who had transported military equipment to Phnom Ve Chap, but you also say another soldier told me of hearing their leader say in a meeting that if nothing was done about the Northwest Group, the zone would revolt like the East Zone. Who is this soldier who heard Northwest Zone leaders say that the zone would revolt like the East Zone?
The question misrepresented the answer. It was read correctly, but then he didn't say that he heard Northwest Zone leaders discussing this. He said he heard leaders. Quote, if nothing was done about the Northwest Group, the zone would revolt. I'm sorry. Another soldier told me of hearing their leaders. So.
I will rephrase. Let me read again exactly what you said, and then I will ask you the question. You said, another soldier told me of hearing their leaders say in a meeting that if nothing was done about the Northwest Group, the zone would revolt like the East Zone. Who is this other soldier that you speak about?
Regarding that answer I gave, it seems to me that I cannot recall it well now.
Very well. Let me follow up on this subject and refer you to something you said in your DC Chem interview, E3/10666, ERN English 013-30557, and Khmer 0132-6340. The question is, according to what you know, they arrested Van. Did he really arrange weapons to attack Ankar? I don't know about this, but as I heard, my colleagues told me that he armed his forces illegally. He arranged and moved his forces to prepare the weapons. He hid the weapons with the mobile forces in order to attack back. End of quote. Mr. Witness, who are these colleagues that you refer to? Your colleagues who told you that Tavan armed his forces illegally?
Mr. President, it seems we're moving on to a different individual now. I just prefer that the questions be open if we're going to be talking about a different individual's evidence to begin with.
I thought we were on the same subject, but well, it's an open question, isn't it? I read his answer, and then I asked him, who are those colleagues? So I'm not sure how I should rephrase. I'm following up. It seems the same subject. So I'm asking who the colleagues are that told him that Van armed his forces illegally. So that's an open question. Mr. Witness, who are those colleagues who told you this about Van?
President, Mr. Witness, you can answer the question, and I want to clarify that the name was Wang. Answer, yes, the name was Wang, not Wan. Wang, during the war years before 1975, he was at the sector Later on, the zone assigned him to take control of the Nup Trahot. Nowadays, the dam is also called Tumnup Trahot or Trahot Dam. And at that work site, hundreds of people died at that time. Thousands of mobile forces were assigned to work there. And there were many failures in building that dam. President interrupted. It seems that you don't understand the question. I clarified earlier that the name was Wine, not One, in order to help you not to get confused among the different names. The question that posed to you by the council was not about the dam building, was not about the Trahon Dam building.
Thank you for this intervention, Mr. President. My question is a simple one. Who were your colleagues who told you about buying, arming his forces illegally? Who were they that told you this?
បាទអ្នកដែល
Answer. The people who had told me were arrested and taken away. His name was Tasum. Tasum told me that Tawany had illegally created force and armed those force. President, thank you. It is now convenient time for a break. The chamber will take a break from now until 3 o'clock. Court officer, please assist the witness at the waiting room for the witness during the break time and invite him back together with his duty counsel into the courtroom at